Okay, so today's classwork activity is going to be online. So hopefully you found the Google Sheet and you should have this paper in front of you. And I'm going to go through this column with you. I think that this one is the most, it's not difficult, but the weird one. And you should be able to do columns 1 and 2 on your own. So we'll do the number 3 together first, and then you can go back to number 1 and 2, and then we'll keep moving down the rows. So each row you have to get right in order to unlock what the next row is going to be. But I'll give you a heads up of kind of where we're going. So let's start with the top row first. Well, all we're doing is finding slope, and we've been finding slope this whole year. It was one of the first things that we learned. So remember, slope is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And all you need to do is label your points as x1, y1, and x2, y2, and now I can solve. So my y2 is 1 minus my y1 is negative 1. So I'm going to write that like this: 1 minus negative 1. The negative from the formula and the negative from the ordered pair. Then my x2 is negative 2 minus 2 my x1. So negative 2 minus 2. Okay, so this becomes a positive. 1 plus 1 is 2 over negative 2 minus 2 is negative 4. But we always want to reduce our fractions. They're both even. 2/4 reduces to negative 1/2. And so when you type that in, you would type in negative 1, the slash symbol, and 2. So anytime you're ever having to type in a fraction, you want to use the slash key. Negative always goes in front. And make sure you do not write any spaces. If you're looking at the Google Sheet, and I can pull up the Google Sheet, right, all we want to type in is negative 1/2, and it will unlock that 1. So see how it went from red to open green? So your goal is to get all this whole row green, and then it will bring you down to the next row, okay? So take some time, pause this video, do the first 2 on your own, and then we'll come back and we'll do this column together so you then can kind of go reverse. Okay, so hopefully you finished 1 and 2. Then this next row, now that it's unlocked, because right, you won't even be able to access it. So if you're just watching this video thinking, hey, I'm just going to get all the answers, you're not going to be able to finish the activity. It won't let you move forward. So you have to get 1 and 2 correct. So number 6, this whole row, 4, 5, and 6, you are plugging it into point slope form. So that's y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. So that's what we did yesterday. So you're taking any point, it doesn't matter which one, and you're taking a point and the slope that we just found and plugging it in. I would go ahead and use the x1, y1 that we already have labeled, because see how those are the exact things that we need? I would just stick with the first point. So maybe we can go through and just, those are going to be the points that you want to use for your problem. So just use that first point. Okay, so now we just plug it in, and that's all you have to do is just plug it in and simplify. So we have y minus, my y1 is negative 1, equals m. That was my answer from the previous problem. So whatever your answer from the previous problem is, you are going like that. Then parentheses x minus, my x1 is 2. And the only thing that I need to do here is just change any double negative into a positive. The computer won't like it if you are typing in a double negative there. So you want to type this in as y plus 1 equals negative 1 slash bar 2 parentheses x minus 2 close parentheses. That's how you would want to type your answer in, no spaces, okay? So that's all you're doing for this next row is just plugging everything in, typing it all out, okay? So go ahead and work on 4 and 5 now, pause, and then you can unlock and get to the next one. Okay, then this next row, 7, 8, and 9, this is where we're taking our previous answer here, so the y plus 1 equals negative 1/2, x minus 2, and we're solving it for y. So again, this is what we did yesterday. All I'm doing is solving it for y. So I'm going to distribute first. That is step 1. We always have to distribute first. So I'm not changing the y plus 1 equals, but I'm going to multiply. So negative 1/2 times x is negative 1/2 x, and negative 1/2 times negative 2. We can type that in. Or really we're taking negative 2 and we're dividing it by a negative 2, which is a positive 1. Okay, so then that's step 1, distribute. Step 2 would be to move this number by the y. So it's y plus 1. I would need to subtract 1. And remember, just like yesterday, you want to make sure that you're putting the regular numbers under each other and you're not subtracting 1 from this x. So that's wrong, right? I can only subtract these numbers. And so this cancels. We get y equals, I bring down the negative 1/2 x, that doesn't change. But then I also have 1 minus 1, which is nothing. So I don't have a y-intercept here, which is why I wanted to do this one. And that's okay. So this would be your answer. So you would type it in like this. Y equals negative 1 slash bar 2 x. That's what you would type in. So I don't even have a y-intercept, and that's fine. You can have 0 there. Okay, so you're going to do the next two now. You're going to do 7 and 8. So you're going to solve whatever you got for your previous answer for 4, solve whatever you got your previous answer for 5, and then that's going to be typed in here. Also, thank you for listening. If you're listening, please go ahead and comment in this assignment what the last song you listened to was. Okay, and then this final row, okay, this is a little bit of an extra challenge, but I think we can do it. It's a review from what we just took our test on. So what we're going to do now is convert to standard form, meaning I want my order to be ax plus by equals c. So this is slope-intercept. I'm going standard form. So this practice is covering all 3 equations, and it's hopefully showing you that they're all the same. They just are rearranged different ways. So this one was in point slope. This one was in slope-intercept. And now we're going to standard form. So we're hitting all 3. Okay, so remember with standard form, I need my x and my y on the same side. And so if I have something in slope-intercept form like this, my y is already on the correct side, right? It's right in front of the equal sign, so we're good with that. But my x is over here, and I don't want it there. I need it to be in front of the y. So we can move that minus 1/2 x by adding 1/2 x to both sides. And that's going to be true for every single problem that you do for 10 and 11. Whatever your x term is, you're going to move it to the other side by either adding it or subtracting it, depending on whatever its sign is. So that should help you with those other ones. So maybe kind of go through and do that now. Move your x over. You can pause this and come back. Okay, so hopefully you moved that over, right? And then what's over here now is nothing. I have 0. You will, for these two, have a number, though. So, like, you'll have a y-intercept, and that's going to stay over there. So it's just that I have nothing on this side. I canceled everything out. That's okay. 0 is still a number, so we have to write that as 0. And so this is in standard form now. I have my x, I have my y, I have my equal sign, I have my number. Even though it's 0, that's okay. But we're breaking a rule. So remember, our rules is that I cannot have a negative, and I cannot have a fraction. So because of this fraction, I need to multiply everything by 2. Okay? And so when I do that, my 2's cancel, and I'm left with 1x, or just x. 2 times y is 2y. 0 times 2 still remains 0. And this would be my answer of my x, my y, my equal sign, my number, and that is standard form. So all 3 of these equations are the same thing. Okay, we could type that into a graphing software and you would see that it's all the same exact line. So you can now finish up 10 and 11 doing that 2-step process. Move your x first and then figure out, do you have any rules being broken? So like for this one, I know for 10 and 11, you're going to have one of them be a fraction and you're going to have a negative appear in there somewhere. So you'll have a couple things to fix, but nothing too crazy. So give that a try. I know that's a little bit of a challenge, but I think we can do it. So finish up 10 and 11, and then you can turn in that paper. Once you're done, you can work on something else. Tomorrow we will go back to very, very short notes video and homework. So I know there's a lot of kind of work that we're doing, but when I come back, we'll kind of take a break, recap everything, and see where we're at. Email me if you have any questions.